Hey, wow. So this is the first time I've actually been live on YouTube. I had my live privileges. I've had my live privileges suspended on Facebook because of a post that I made on my personal page about my experiences in DC. So here I am on Facebook. This is not ideal, but here I am. So let me see if I can. I gotta drop a link into. Let's see if I can drop a link here. Oh yeah, no. Into Facebook real quick. Okay, maybe. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Not only is YouTube asshole, so is Facebook. So I'm suspended from doing live on my business page, which I have kept squeaky clean until still, but here we are, and I'm still going to do the daily medicine. I am not giving up on that. So I hope people come over here and join. Of course, when the stream ends, you'll be able to watch it on the replay here. I'll post it to Facebook, to the page, so you can still access it. But I am certainly not going to stop this train. There's no way that I'm gonna let this stop what I'm doing and not show up for myself and for everybody else. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Catalyst Energies. This is the daily medicine transmission. I am going to really burn some Palo Santo right now because, wow, that really shifted the dynamic entirely for me. But I do have a great transmission to give today. It is still on the side of positive and giving us things to look forward to. A lot of balancing of contrasts today. I'll go over the astrology. I haven't really, had the ability to put any astrology videos up recently, even though that is my main that is my main modality right now. But I'll get a weekly out really soon because we are at we're at the last quarter of this lunar cycle that started with a new moon solar eclipse in December. So, coming into the dark moon. So it's, let me get myself together here. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I know YouTube is not ideal. I'm sure many people don't want to use this platform. I am definitely going to move over to other streaming services if it's going to be this way. I will make sure that you are made aware of what they are. There are a couple options. DLive is a streaming service that I think I'm going to look into and utilize. Astrology videos I'll be posting probably on Odyssey, maybe BitChute, we'll see. Because this is ridiculous. I'm not even, I'm just posting astrology and intuitive readings. And apparently having a personal experience and sharing it is enough to be banned from doing this work. So, I guess that's what happens when you come out and you're just yourself and you're authentic. And it turns out that you are not following the party line. So here we go. We have some major shifts happening today astrologically. Mercury is going to be moving into Aquarius. Okay. Venus is moving into Capricorn today. So we still have this, the moon in Scorpio all day today. She's going to move into Sagittarius tomorrow on the 9th in the morning, early morning. She's going to be there. So we still have this really heavy emotional energy with Scorpio. And wasn't it interesting? Yesterday also was pretty heavy, wasn't it? We went into it with a lot of aspects to anchor us and to ground us and to look forward to what was happening. But still, it was definitely a problem with the astrology. So, man, this really threw me off. I'm so sorry. Uh, this is a whole different, you got to be flexible, I guess, right? And you got to be able to make quick changes in this world. So, Mercury's moving into Aquarius today, right? Moving from Capricorn, which is an earth sign, cardinal earth. It's been very serious. It's been very goal-oriented in our communications, in our ideas, our thought forms. It is now moving into fixed air. There's a lot of fixed energy right now, right? Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, and Leo is the fixed fire, which we don't really have any right this second. So, but we still have a lot of this fixed energy. Mars is now in Taurus, and we have the moon in Scorpio. We have all this Aquarius energy. So these, and oppositions, of course, when we have Scorpio and Taurus. So there's still a lot of challenge today. The good news is that there is sextile between the sun and Neptune. The moon will also trine Neptune today. If we can really be able to calm the waters of our emotions as much as possible, if we're able to relax into a sense of peace and tranquility as much as we can, right? The ripples need to settle on the waters of our intuition and our psychic channel and really get the disturbance down to a minimum. We're really going to be able to transmit and pull through some very deep messages here, and it will support our there is a really strong sense of starting to step up. And with Venus coming into Capricorn today, it is time for the princess, who really is much more interested in just pulling towards her what it is that makes her feel good and what it is that allows her to feel beauty and harmony, right? Goddess of love, right? Well, she's stepping into Capricorn. It is now time for the princess to step into her role as the leader, right? And realize that she is responsible for more than just herself and her own gratification. And she's becoming aware of her latent power. This is when it becomes much more about the group rather than it's more about the group as opposed to our individual gratification and what we each individually value. This is what Venus often represents, is what we each individually value. She also rules Libra, which is a strong component in today's transmission, but it's time to start stepping up and taking some responsibility for ourselves individually, and to realize that, again, what we put out there affects everybody, not just us, right? So with Mercury also moving into Aquarius, wow, we are going to get like very, locked in intellectually and objectively, the realm of the mind, the magician in the realm of Aquarius. This is very powerful. And if you remember, of course, the great conjunction with Jupiter and Saturn, 0 degrees Aquarius, and what that represented, right? That was us, shooting back into the future, that moment. Now that Mercury is there, this is like almost harnessing that spiritual ideal that Aquarius represents, harnessing it and being able to manifest from it. And with Venus moving into Capricorn today, then also that part of us that does focus on what we value and what makes us feel good and comfortable and secure is now stepping into her position and her role as more of a leader today. So there's a big shift in terms of our individual as well as our collective responsibility. And if we can step up and express ourselves through this accelerated growth, right? Sometimes we have to step into responsibility before we're naturally ready, right? It's like a young person or a child having to step into the role of responsibility as an adult. And if we can do that, it will not only will it allow for us to really pull in the deeper messages that Neptune has, right? The fog is so thick right now. There is so much information and disinformation flying everywhere right now that we can't, it's if we are not very focused on what our responsibility is right now, we are getting just pulled all over the place. We'll just fall for all of it and not really hone in on what we are here to do, which is to be part of this process of awakening. It is really important. And this actually really, this whole situation with right now really reflects I think, very accurately that whole dynamic, right? It could have just been a lot easier for me to just be like, well, I can't go live on Facebook anymore, and just kind of like, you know, cry about it and sulk and pout and go away and be like, oh, I guess I can't do it. But no, it's important to step up and take some responsibility and realize that it's not just about us individually, and that taking responsibility and being goal oriented means that you do what you need to do in order to, and this wasn't that hard, right? I just got on my laptop and got on YouTube and started streaming. It's not that big of a deal. But this does reflect, I think, very accurately how we can make the most of what's happening right now. There are roadblocks, lots of them. There's a reason for that, and they give us the opportunity to solve problems, to step up, and to grow maybe more than we normally would without the roadblocks. And so to see them as some sort of, I don't know, see them as a benefit and see them as something that we should be grateful for on some level in order to facilitate this growth process. And when we do that, we express ourselves, right? The sun in Capricorn at this point, we express ourselves in our full personality through this stepping up, then we are able to harness, like I said, the Piscean message that Neptune is allowing us to connect directly to, because it really does require an innate sense to get through the fog, right? We can't just like fold up and die because we can't see through the fog, right? I can't see where I'm going. I don't understand how to get where I'm going. I'm lost, and I'm just going to crumple up and just sit here, or I'm just going to keep, grasping for anything out there that will orient me. And that's not how Neptune works. It just dissolves everything. There is nothing to grasp, but we need to step into our responsibility, step up into our the leadership that is latent within each of us, to step into some power. And Venus is going to help with this today. It is not her it's not her preferred mode to be in Capricorn, right? There's too much responsibility for other people here, but it is what it is. And at least she's in another earth sign, so she can be more of the queen, right, of pentacles, as opposed to the princess, of discs, that is much more innocent and focused kind of on her own self. It's time to step up in our relationships, right? Venus in the things that we value, the aspects that we value in our lives. It's time to step up. And that the moon in Scorpio, especially when it comes around and is in a sextile to Pluto today, if we have been working with this energy and not sinking into the depths of our own, again, being depressed, feeling like we're lost. I mean, just sinking down and down. Oh, you made it, Meg, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll be sure to post this on Facebook so people can access it. And I think like I said, I'm gonna move to another platform. Hopefully DLive will be an option where I can stream, because I'm not, anyway. If we've been working with the moon in Scorpio, and as you'll see in this transmission, that is really, the high priestess has been really present, because that is the darkness, that is the void, that is the space within us in which something is created, but that requires that we are facing the darkness and not letting our fear take over. There's been a lot of people that are not, they're feeling incredible amount of disappointment and pain and sadness, and they are fearful and they are giving up. And if we have allowed this moon in Scorpio energy again, and I said this yesterday, if you have Scorpio, strong Scorpio, especially moon in Scorpio, I have moon in Scorpio, this is what you are here to do, is help guide people through this process, because we can't sink to the bottom here. We need to be able to move into the depths and then rise back up. And if we're able to do that, we will see through, right? Just like an X-ray, see through into the structural form underneath the surface. And again, this will really help. This is, like I said, a sextile to Pluto and Capricorn. If we can see through to the structural form underneath the surface, then we will be supportive as Pluto does Pluto's thing, right? Which is just destroy everything in order to create space for something new. So the other square that's happening today is Mercury is in a square to Mars in Taurus. There's these fixed squares. Mars came into Taurus and planted his feet, right? And that also means that all of that incredible potency and energy with Mars and Aries, all of that warrior energy, action hero energy, had to really settle down into a natural rhythm. Okay. And that's not easy for Mars. And you can tell that that has not been easy for many people to have that happen. So with Mercury in Aquarius now squaring that, there is, again, in our minds as the magician, right? As the inner magician that we all hold within us. You know, there is a spiritual ideal that Aquarius represents that is outside of space and time, that is the love, that is the glue that holds everything together. And we are in natural coherence to it with Aquarius. You know, the Magi is going to be in the zone here, okay? The square to Mars and Taurus is that fixed earth. Mars is firmly planted in the soil now and is allowing all of that potential to, like I said, unfold naturally. And so this tension here is going to require us to, it's just going to require us to see how we can make these things work together. We can't be so focused on, the mercurial magician aspect, although that is really strong today as well. And you'll see what I'm talking about. We can't get so focused on that aspect that we lose sight of the natural unfoldment of this process. And Mars, as much as it's difficult for Mars to be planted in a fixed earth sign, I think that this is actually exactly what we need to ground ourselves, because we have been so charged and making the charge with Mars and Aries this whole time, especially because there's been that retrograde. So it's been there for a long time. This is really pulling the energy back down into the living earth and to allow all of that potency to naturally start to develop. And if we can remember that, then we can not get so hyper focused on necessarily this Aquarian aspect with, the magician and Mercury in Aquarius in the tarot is the Six of Swords. It's science, right? It's completely balanced mental perspective, and having it all come to a core point of understanding. And there is a lot of that today as well. I'm going to get into the transmissions. I keep alluding to it, and it's not, it'll just make more sense to see everything that's come out. I just want to go over the astrology because I haven't had a chance to really expand on it as much as I would like to, because my personal life has been very busy, and there's a lot of transition happening right now, on top of all of this, like political and the state of our world and the spiritual awakening. So it's all, it's all coming together into one, beautiful thing that's unfolding. But I really wanted to go over the astrology so we understand how much of an adjustment is actually going to be made, and how much of It's time to step up into, like I said, the responsibility of the Capricorn energy, and Venus coming here today is going to make that very real. You know, she'd been in Sagittarius this whole time, so it was all about the alchemy of our relationships and all of the friction of the contrast, creating the fire to create something new. Well, now she's here in the something new, and it's time to start managing that. And there's latent power within all of us. And that is what she is going to start learning about, transitioning from her role as a princess into the queen, right? Into the empress, right? She needs to go through this process. And so it's going to be, oh, hi, Seth. That's so funny that you're on YouTube right now watching. I don't know if you've ever watched any of my lives. That's so funny. Staying busy. Wow. Yes, you have so much insight for about these processes. It's really interesting. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's go into the transmission. Let's look at the cards, the magical, wonderful cards that I am so honored to be able to read for you. And they've just never steered me wrong. Not once, even when I am a train wreck. They've never steered me wrong, ever. So, and they're always so accurate. It's kind of crazy how much they're accurate. Okay, let's see here. Now, 2 cards came out for the energy of the moment. One second here. Okay. Yes, most of the time you do unexpected things. That is part of your nature. Okay, got to keep it interesting, right? All right, here. So here we come into the moment, the energy coming into the moment. There's 2 cards, right? We talked about the priestess. Here's the high priestess, right? The moon in Scorpio, which is yesterday and today. Darkness, the mysteries, the inner wisdom at its deepest, right? This is the void within us. It is the darkness that is where we create from, right? We can't create anything. The magician can't manifest anything unless there is a space to hold it. And there's a feeling of darkness that comes with the high priestess, because there is only darkness. It is only the void. It is only the space. And there's a deep intuitive knowledge and patience. Remember, that came up really strong yesterday. Patience. Okay. She is a real strong guide right now. So I would recommend tapping into this energy if you are struggling or feeling fearful or hopeless. And there is fear when it comes to this darkness, right? Because again, Scorpio, moon in Scorpio, you are just emotionally sinking into the depths of your own subconscious, into your own darkness. And if you're not comfortable with this, oh my God, I saw a meme yesterday where this person was coming out of a train tunnel, like they were walking along the tracks, and it's a person that was just saying, I need to sit with more medicine. And his shadow was crawling out from behind him from the tunnel. And it was saying, dude, like, bro, just integrate me and you'll be good. And I was like, that's exactly it. Like, we keep trying to, find these ways to bypass this process here. So take this as a guide today, because this is this darkness moving into the moment. Now, here we go. Everybody's favorite card, the 3 of Swords, right? Sorrow, right? This is Saturn in Libra. So this Libra energy is still very much part of this process, even though we've moved on from it. There's like this ripple effect, and we still are feeling it, the balance, the justice, the fairness that goes along with Libra. So sorrow, right? Now, when it's reversed, either way you look at it, this is a rough card, right? It is about the disappointment and the shattering of illusions and having to face up to that. So when it's reversed like this, it's really suggesting that the disappointment, the pain, the sadness, the sorrow, we're not actually learning from it. We're just kind of feeding it. And these 2 together, right? There is a lot of darkness and there is a lot of mystery here, the moon in Scorpio. And people are really struggling right now to get themselves to a place where they can see the benefit of this. So this 3 of Swords, the sorrow, people are feeding the disappointment, they're feeding the sadness, they're feeding the pain, they're feeding their hopelessness, right? They are giving into it, despite the fact that they have access to the deepest mysteries of who they are in this moment, because it's such a scary place to go. People are really just like in their minds and the knowledge that they've accumulated, right? Libra, cardinal air, they're just feeding it, right? People, and this is the energy coming into the moment. So yesterday was really, really rough for people. People were really losing hope. I've seen it all over social media, just people dropping like flies energetically, and just being like, it's over, we're screwed, from many different, angles too. I mean, it's not just one position or another. Some people are hopeless. Some people are like ready to pounce and make a lot of rash decisions about things. And also too, like for those who are where it seems inevitable that they are going to have to face their own shadow again, they are really, really struggling with having to do that. And they are not learning anything from the situation. They are just feeding it. So here's the present moment. The Justice card, or adjustment. This is the Libra card, okay? Number 8, right? We know number 8 is the infinity symbol. It is a very divine frequency when it comes to numerology. 7 is the fall, right? It is the all is lost moment. 8 is the divine intervention, adjustment. This is Libra, okay? Now, something that's interesting about this card, not only is it the balance of contrast, because we're talking about the balancing of scales, this is also a combination of what? The High Priestess and the Magician. Now, you see, we need both of these components to actually come to a balanced point. We've had the Magician, we have the High Priestess, we have everything we need, and in the present moment comes the adjustment to the scales, justice, right in this moment. So either outside of us, this is within us, right? Venus coming into Capricorn as well, stepping into her power, right? Stepping into her responsibility as the Empress, okay? Only when we have an objective view of everything, we can find what? Inner balance and silence, okay? This is about uncompromising honesty and objectivity, right? It is very easy to allow ourselves to feed into our subjective experience and pretend or erroneously think that that is reality. And in fact, we have to work very hard to be objective and honest, right? Uncompromising honesty and objectivity. This is the heart of this day, and this message is this adjustment and justice, right? And we need the High Priestess as much as we need the Magician. We can't just manifest from that mercurial perspective without the darkness and the deeper knowledge that is not even accessible with our minds. It's through our intuition. Yeah, justice time is right. I can like, and with Mercury, coming into Aquarius today, I really feel like this is a big deal. Like, there's just a lot of shifting that's happening today, and it's really comes down to our ability to hold that space within us in order to really get through it. Now, what do we see? What do we know? What's at the top of our awareness? Well, here's, this is the Ascended Master, Hilarion. I always like his name because he seems so serious, but then he has this name that's like hilarious. Number 5. Okay, this is the Ascended Master of Research and Science. Let me get my notes here. Okay. Truth, healing, logical mind, spirit communication. You see that he is very focused. He's in his lab. He's very focused on what he's reading. He's doing his research, but he is surrounded by all of these beings, probably looking from different time periods, different ages. There's a child and the mother right here. This is about the logical mind. This is about detection of evidence. This is drawing conclusions from our research and discovery. So you see here how objective reality is a big theme right now. This is at the top of our awareness, and I would even go so far as to say that this is a guidance point coming in to be objective, to be truthful, to be focused on the research, and to draw conclusions from our own discovery, as opposed to feeding the subjective experience of fear and doubt and worry. Evidence detection, okay? Forensic science, law, truth. This is at the top of our awareness today. And when we have adjustment being at the heart of it as well, again, I would say that this is a guidance point coming in, that we are, if we can stay focused on this aspect, right? Pull in this energy into our minds, right? Mercury and Aquarius, right? This is some genius mercurial energy coming in today. And we need to stay focused on the truth, right? Objective reality, right? Not getting swayed by the emotional impact of what's being projected out to us, right? If you're watching mainstream news all the time, of course, it's going to be, when you're watching mainstream news all the time, you are getting a narrative that they are projecting to you. This is why I've been talking for a whole year about energetic hygiene, discernment, okay? Objective reality, truth, learning to sharpen your discernment, learning to hone your psychic skills so that you know what's truth and you feel it in your body, right? And you're not being swayed constantly. And as soon as Neptune went direct on the 28th of November, this has ramped up. The fog has ramped up so much. This is what we need to focus on right now, okay? This Hilarion energy coming in. Now, what we don't see that is at the root of things energetically hasn't really fully manifested yet, but is very good that it's rooting us right now. The Five of Keys, the wishes fulfilled. This really speaks for itself. Everything is going to, it's going to be okay. We're going to have everything fulfilled. Our dreams are going to come true. Everything that we want and we desire is coming to us. It's just under the surface right now. It's not fully accessible. And this again is why it's so important with this priestess energy and with the moon in Scorpio, that we are willing to kind of sit in with our emotional and intuitive aspects, go into our subconscious, know this to be true, that it is coming, that is manifesting, all of our wishes fulfilled. And with this Justice card, again, at the heart of everything, we have to trust, and we have to trust. We have to trust our own knowing, and we have to trust this process unfolding. It is like a broken record, I feel like, because this is just what we've been talking about over and over and over. And now is the time where this actually is meant to be applied. Okay. And faith is not tested when it's easy. Faith is tested when it is difficult. Somebody had put on social media yesterday, because, people really are just like, it's over, or whatever. Like, we need to make drastic changes right now. And somebody had made a comment about how this is the part of the movie where you don't think Frodo's going to make it, right? He's not going to make it. We're there. We have to have faith in this process, and to stay focused on our goals, okay? Whatever that goal is for you, stay focused, stay objective, stay grounded in reality. Yes, it is definitely the all is lost moment right now, right? And when we had January 6th, remember, that is the epiphany. That is the time where in the Christian faith, right? In the story of Jesus, it is the moment where Jesus is recognized as the Messiah, right? After 12 days after he's born, and the three wise men, right? And the Magi, and he's baptized, right? Again, devotion to what we know is the fulfillment of a quote unquote prophecy, which is really just the evolution of humanity to the next stage, right? We have to go through this process, and, just falling apart as a result of things not going the way that we think they should go. And our ego, as we will see, is really leading to people having a really hard time right now. Now, where is this headed? The Knight of Cups. Speaking of contrasts, This is us, right? When we have the court cards, we are talking about actual people. They represent either us, other people. This is us, right? The Knight of Cups. You can see the Knight is the fire, the cups are the water. So that, again, another balancing of contrasts here. All right, the balance of contrast. This is important, right? We can't get caught on one side of the scale or the other internally. Now he's bringing the chalice. Look, with the crab here, he's bringing it. He's offering the healing. He's offering the compassion, and he's doing it with this fire energy of the Knight, which is transformation, which is spiritual willpower, right? Which is courage, which is bravery. All of the things that the Knight represents. So he's the Knight of Cups. Compassion. This is an incredible healer if they can really balance the contrasts, right? Tenderness, emotional warmth, but also bravery and courage and fire and passion as well. And self-redemption. This is a really important concept. Redemption. Self-redemption. Okay. You always have the option for redemption, always. It's never too late to redeem yourself. And this is also what this card offers, is this opportunity to redeem ourselves, to surrender to to love, surrender to compassion, surrender to forgiveness, surrender to divine source, however you however you connect to that. It doesn't have to follow any kind of religious doctrine. It's really a personal experience, but this is about the offering to ourselves of this redemption. And also, we really need to hold space for people who have been really holding a very negative perspective and very adversarial, violent perspective for a long time, because it's not something that can be held indefinitely. Okay. And when this adjustment does happen, this will impact people that have been they have been sustaining themselves off of their anger and vitriol for so long, and when that no longer is an option, this is when people really lose it. So our job as the wanderers, the way showers, the star seeds, however you identify this role for yourself, is to be here to offer this cup, right, of love and compassion and healing. And this is where it's headed, right, with this adjustment. Okay. So some guidance coming through if you're really struggling with some of these energetic aspects. The horizontal axis is like the cause and effect, linear relationship here of what to expect in this moment in a collective sense. The vertical axis is really about, right, where we are at energetically and how we can be aligned through this process. Now, if you're struggling with Hilarion, right, to be objective, to be focusing on the truth and research, and to discover the truth based on these objective perspective. Now, so a couple things. Number one, so the Three of Keys is the chess game, right? So we already can see that there is a political battle, right, where they have the two sides fighting each other, right? When it's reversed like this, even when it's upright, it suggests that you have to be aware that there is a political battle, and that the chessboard is absolutely at play. When it's reversed like this, it's really saying that the political conflict that you're involved in, whatever it is untenable. Like you have to leave, right? You have to disengage emotionally. That is the big piece of it. You may not be able to get off the chessboard necessarily, but it's time to emotionally disengage and start to make plans to make your life better. Start to make plans to put the unhappiness behind you. Start to make plans to bring more peace into your life, right? The situation as it stands like this is unlikely to change. And there's many aspects today that outside of us are unlikely to change, especially depending on which side of the board you're looking at, because they're not all of a sudden, when you're playing chess, you play to the end. And there is no giving up, right? Necessarily. I mean, you can, but one side is playing against the other, and it is unlikely to change. And it's time for us to disengage. And this is where, again, Hilarion comes into effect, because this is not about playing the game. This is about objective research. This is about spirit communication. This is about truth, right? So disengage emotionally from the political. And I'm not saying don't give up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying disengage emotionally, right? Start making plans to bring happiness and peace into your life, because, like I said, this is unlikely to change, and it's going to play out, okay? Whether you like it or not. And also, here's our friend the rattlesnake. Remember yesterday, it was related to what was under the surface, right? This is the experiences that you're presently going through are an initiation into fulfilling your purpose as what? A healer. The Knight of Cups is an incredible healer, okay? So being objective, being truth oriented, doing the research, having a mode of discovery in what you're doing, and disengaging emotionally from the chess game as well. Remember, this is all initiating each and every one of us into our role as a healer, for what we are about to step into, because it is not going to be some easy transition into a Biden administration. I assure you that is not happening. And anybody who thinks that is being manipulated by some sort of mainstream narrative. I'm sorry. I mean, I keep things really loose in terms of interpretation here, but I mean, there's no two ways around that. Okay. So everything that is happening is meant to initiate us into being a healer, because that is really the role we need to play when the adjustment happens, because it will really throw a lot of people off. So again, if you're struggling with it, remember that it's all part of initiating us into a healer, because you have to be able to feel, you have to be able to in order to really be compassionate towards other people, you have to have gone through some level of pain and disappointment and sadness in order for you to really understand how other people can go through pain and disappointment and sadness. And so it's important that we are disengaging from the emotional aspect of the matrix right now, with it all, shifting, because that process is not changing. That chess game is continuing. And if we are emotionally connected to it, we are not going to be able to be objective. Okay. So when it comes to the wishes fulfilled, first of all, this is the goose. It says, take time to rest and recuperate rather than continuing your striving. This makes a lot of sense. We really need some respite here. Okay. It's time to, take care of ourselves, take a break, take a step back, take a breath. All right. Instead of just pushing and pushing and pushing, we need our energy for the next push. And if we don't do this, we are going to wear ourselves out. Okay. Just know that it's coming. It's coming. The wishes fulfilled is coming. It's just under the surface. It hasn't manifested yet. So rather than again, getting caught up in everything that is happening, disengage emotionally from the chess game, take a breath, take some time to rest, recuperate, take care of your health, right? Take care of the chores around your house, whatever you need to do. Okay. And trust this process unfolding. And then 4 of Roses, the views of the ego. Look at this. This guy has his entourage, but he's the only one he sees in the mirror. Again, this person is unlikely to change. And so if you're trying to change somebody in your life who's self-absorbed and only focusing on their self, and is still feeding this narrative of violence and vitriol and hatred, and really just not taking the path of compassion and love, you need to disengage from them in some way. And this will also help with the rest and recuperation, because otherwise you are just going to be banging your head against the wall trying to change somebody who is not going to be changed based on your input. It's time to take a step back, and see how this is hurting you, to be engaged with this energy, right? This ego, views of the ego. These people, whoever these are in your life or out there, right? Whoever they are, they will They will deal with themselves when the time is right. It is not our job to change anybody's mind. It's not our job to try to change these people from being who they are. It is their job. That is what they came here to do. That is what we all came here to do, is to evolve on our own and then be part of the fractal that is unfolding. If you really want to rest, recuperate, take care of yourself, and if you really want to get into the resonance of these wishes being fulfilled in a very physical way, and that we are going to have everything realized, you have to disengage from these people because it is toxic. And we've known this for a long time, but there's more people now that are in this situation because they're just spiraling out of control because they had expectations that they did not temper. And now they're disappointed. That sorrow card is so strong right now. So, man, thank you for being here and being flexible about this situation. Let's see what people have to say. Seth, you've had a lot of input. I really like you being on these lives. I mean, you're not on Facebook, so I know. Must walk through the fire to know how much it burns. Absolutely. Phil. Hey, Phil. Hello, glad you don't give up. I am glad too, and I'm glad that you're here. Thank you so much for following me along to YouTube, even though they are asshole. Quick unfollows and unfriends these days. Yeah, I mean, it's, I saw the writing on the wall a long time ago. I would say like maybe about 6 to 9 months ago, and I just cut a lot of people out. But I think that it's becoming even more so. And you just can't get caught up in other people's spiral of drama. And it doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you don't respect them. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be here for them, but we cannot keep staying engaged in that because it just drains us. And then Phil says, it looks cold over there. It's been 40 degrees here today. I have no heat in my office, so I'm always cold in here in the morning. So I'm always wearing my beanie and some amount of layers. It's just the way this house is. And we're closing on our house today. So it's only not going to be much longer until we're in a new location, in a new office, and we have a wood stove in our fireplace. So it'll be a totally different reality very, very soon. So I'm excited about that. Thank you, Meg. Yes, it is a big deal. It's just a beautiful little piece of property with a stream running in front of it and a wood stove. And yeah, I'm excited. It's really, again, wishes fulfilled. In some ways, it's more manifest for other people, than others, right? And so, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible for all of us. And it doesn't mean that I've done something right and that I'm being rewarded. I don't want that to be misconstrued. It's just that we're all exactly where we need to be, and everything is happening as it's meant to. And this script has been laid out for us for 3 years now, at least, if not longer. And it is being followed very, very well, I would say. Seth says adjustment is the name of today, right? It certainly is. The balancing of the scales is absolutely the heart of today. And we need, like I said, we need the priestess and the magician. You can't make real adjustment, and you can't balance the contrasts without both sides of the spectrum, right? The magician needs the high priestess, because if there is no space to create, if there's no intuitive, deep knowledge, then what the magician creates from is not of the highest order. Okay. So thank you all. Oh, this went really long. Thank you so much for being here. I will make sure to link this onto the Facebook page. It is Friday, so I won't be doing any lives until next week. And maybe I'll stay. Yes, it is the magician, just like the one on my arm. That's true, except this one is from a different deck, but it's the same one. I might go on YouTube from now on. We'll see how it goes over. And I'm going to check out other platforms as well. I will keep you all up to speed about that. I think DLive is a great option in terms of streaming live. And I'd rather support platforms that are not asshole. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will be seeing all of you very soon. Bye.